Hey friends, Sean from Draft Therapy here, and on today's review for you, it's time to get spicy. Mayan Mocha Stout is a 6% stout from Oddside Ales in Grand Haven, Michigan. Let me start off by saying I am generally not a spicy beer kind of guy. Now, when it's done right, I think they can be pretty good. I have had a few that I've really liked, but when they don't work out, they're just, in my opinion, a big fail. They fail hard. I don't even think I've been brave enough to put Mayan Mocha Stout through the paces yet. So in an effort to kind of push myself outside that comfort zone, we're going to take a look at it today. But first, I'd like to thank my executive producers, Brian Kramer, David Jeffries, Chad Shirk, and Cam Freeman for helping to bring this review to you today. If you'd like to become a producer, help out the channel, or maybe just throw me a couple bucks to buy me a beer, take a look at my Patreon at patreon.drafttherapy.com, where you can get early access to these videos and a few other special perks available only to patrons, including some patron-only giveaways. Let's take a look at the label here. My favorite thing, a matte label. I love matte labels. I don't know if I've said that enough, but I love matte labels. Let me reinforce that. I love matte labels. This is a matte black label. It's not shiny. It says Oddside across the top. Again, it says Oddside has the 3 hop cones, which is their logo. Underneath that, it says Mayan Mocha Stout, a stout with coffee, cinnamon, nutmeg, and habaneros. And it has the Aztec calendar in the background, the sun, all the different symbols, all the different, iconography. If we turn it around to the back, it says Oddside, again with the 3 hop cones, Mayan Mocha Stout, inspired by Mexican hot chocolate. It is carefully blended with Dutch chocolate coffee, cinnamon, nutmeg, and habaneros, which will leave you with the perfect balance of chocolate and heat. This is 6% by volume. Let me be the judge of that with the perfect heat. Brewed and canned by Oddside Ales in Grand Haven, Michigan, 49417. You can check them out at oddsideales.com, and you can find them on all the social media at Oddside Ales. On the other side of the label, it just has the government warning, tells you this is 12 fluid ounces, all that good stuff. And this was manufactured on October 7th, 2021. The time that I'm recording this is October 22nd, October 23rd. So we're going to grab a large snifter style glass, going to crack it and put a nose on it like we do here. Woo! Big pop. And let's put a nose on it. Getting a lot of there's a sweet aroma. It is chocolatey. There is a little bit of coffee. I can actually almost smell a little bit of the heat. I'm not getting the cinnamon, but I feel like I'm getting a little bit of the heat. Let's go ahead and pour it. Really dark out of the can. It is slightly transparent on the pour, but as it'll collect in this glass, I'm pretty sure that it will not be transparent anymore. So if I put my finger up here, I'm getting about a finger worth of head. It is a tan colored head. It's not very, it's not quite white, but it's not quite coffee colored, but it's like right in the middle. It's a tan, maybe like a khaki colored kind of head. The head is dissipating at a somewhat quick pace. Let's hold it up to the light here. Yeah, that is very dark. There's a lot of nice carbonation rising up to the head. Yeah, I'm not seeing through that. You probably see that it looks black. I see that it looks black. It might be shading towards a super dark brown rather than black in the glass here. It looks like there's a little bit of a brown in the bottom of the bulb of this glass. Let's put a nose on the glass. Yeah, there's a sweetness there. There is also a rich kind of chocolate vibe going on there, maybe a little bit of coffee, and a little bit of that heat. Actually, I do smell the cinnamon now. I wasn't getting it out of the can, out of the glass I do. And yeah, so I'm getting a little bit of a chocolate, I'm getting a little bit of a coffee. There is a heat component there, there is a cinnamon component. It has a bit of a sweet kind of aroma to it. That's enough talking. Being pushed outside the comfort zone looks like this. Let's take a drink. Cheers. Let's talk about the mouthfeel. Mouthfeel is a little bit, it's in the medium end. It's not syrupy, it's not thick. It is kind of a little crisp. It's on the medium side, but it is a little bit crisp for a stout. It's a little bit, I think because of the temperature that it's at, it's not super cold. I'm going to guess, I don't have my thermometer down here, but I'm going to guess it's probably around 50 to 60 degrees. I know that's a big kind of range, but it's between 50 and 60. So I think with the temperature that it's at, the mouthfeel isn't quite as heavy as it usually does. It just kind of feels like this little bit of a crisp heaviness, if that even makes any sense. And let's talk about the taste here, because there was a lot going on, and I had to really put my brain through a lot of exercise. It was a mental strength to talk about the mouthfeel and not talk about the taste. So from the top, what I'm getting is I get a bit of that spiciness. There's that spicy bite. It kind of bites on the back of my throat as I swallow it. There is a sweetness in there too. It is like really slight vanilla. You definitely taste there's the heat, there's the habanero heat, there's the cinnamon heat there as well, and there is a very deep, really just kind of, just deep, super dark chocolate kind of flavor in there that's just really kicking it at the bottom there, at the end of the flavor. It just, at the beginning, it just kind of has like this just subtle sweetness, but it's also this heat. It's kind of really thin at the very beginning on flavor. It kind of hits my tongue and I don't really know what to say. Like, I don't know how to describe what it is. It just doesn't have a big flavor at the beginning. And it's not a super potent, like hardcore, just really rich flavors and all these. What I'm getting, honestly, is I'm getting heat. I'm getting that habanero kind of heat. And that's what I'm getting on the whole. That's throughout. That's at the beginning. Well, besides that little tiny bit where there's not a whole lot of flavor, it's like heat right after that. And then on the finish, there's heat, but it's like there's two different kinds of heat. Like up front, there's that habanero kind of heat. On the end, there's that habanero kind of heat, but there's also a cinnamon heat that kind of butts up against the final habanero heat. But then in the middle, there is this dark chocolate and coffee vibe that's in there. And it's like, it's there just to kind of tease you. It's like there's this heat, there's the coffee and the chocolate. Hi, how you doing? And it's like, hi, you want more of this? And then it's like, bam! You're getting a lot of habanero. You're getting a lot of cinnamon. So it's really interesting. I've never had this beer before. I know, obviously, they've put it out for years and years. I've just never had it. And like I said, I steer away from spicy beers generally. I feel like swishing it around in my mouth, I can get a little bit more of a creamy kind of mouthfeel consistency going. I can kind of pick up a little bit more on the chocolate, a little bit more on the coffee. The coffee is there on the aftertaste now that I kind of think of it, but it's mixed in with that cinnamon, with that habanero. I don't feel like this is going to give me heartburn, which is a good thing because that's why I stay away from spicy beer. I don't get heartburn very often. And I don't even get heartburn from spicy food, but for some reason it's spicy beer that really sets off that kind of like acid reflux kind of instinct in me, or that feeling, or whatever you want to call that. But this one doesn't feel like it's quite that spicy. I think because it's habanero, I think for me, if it's like jalapeno, I've had jalapeno in beer, and that's like, it was in like a blonde ale or something, and I'm not going to name any names, but I wasn't really a fan of that one. That's the one where it was like, oh yeah, you're gonna have heartburn tonight. But I don't feel like this is like that. It's not quite as sweet as I would have liked it. I think that with a little bit more sweetness, it would have balanced out the heat. With a little bit more sweetness, or maybe a little bit more of the even more like moving the chocolate, being able to have the chocolate come earlier in the taste, would have been, for me, would have been maybe a little bit more satisfying. But like I said, there's this kind of like initial, indescribable kind of flavor that's going on there. And it's not a bad flavor. It's just there is not a lot of flavor. But then it's like, you swallow it and you're like, oh yeah, no, wait, I just drank something and it has spiciness and it is hot. But I'm still drinking this, so that's something to be said. I think if you're not into spicy beer, you're not going to be into this. It does have a considerable amount of heat, but it's not, and I love spicy food, like I said, so maybe that's just me, but I don't feel like it's too spicy. The spice kind of feeling hangs around on the back of your tongue, on the back of your palate for, I don't know how long, but it's been this whole time since I've drank it. So, and I keep drinking it, but I do keep drinking it, so that's something, that's something there. But like I said, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more sweetness, or maybe the sweeter or the chocolate or the coffee flavors to come a little bit earlier earlier in the flavor, even after the initial kind of heat. If it came right after that, I think it would be a little bit more balanced. But at this point, it's like you get a lot of heat and you're getting a little bit of the chocolate, a little bit of the coffee. It would have been nice to see a little bit more of that. All right, friends, that has been Mayan Mocha Stout from Odd Side Ales. Have you had this? Have you had the bourbon barrel-aged version before? Do you have an opinion on spicy beer? Are they too much? Are they not enough? Do you have any that you like? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there, if you like beer, you might want to subscribe and click that bell. I'm here talking about beer twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's all for free for viewers just like you. It doesn't cost a thing. And you might miss your newest favorite if you're not subscribed or getting those notifications. You might miss, you might buy a clunker and you didn't even know, but if you saw it on here, you might know to avoid it. So until next time, I'm Sean from Draft Therapy. Thanks for stopping by. Remember, drink craft beer, support your local breweries wherever they are, and most importantly, don't forget to treat yourself to a little draft therapy. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Cheers.